since the first boats launched back in 1999, Tempe Town Lake has seen a huge economic impact on and offshore.
That's right. It cost more than $45 million to build this 2-mile-long lake. Now joining us now is Chris Baxter-Ging, who's been working with the lake since it first started.
Good evening. How are you today?
Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us. And how are you?
Wonderful.
Wonderful. Now, I wanted to ask you, you've been working here since it started. What was the lake originally intended to be?
Well, the lake had three purposes. The first was flood control. Back in the day, you could not build anything around this 7-mile shoreline that was here. Another one was recreation, which we all love, watching the wildlife, watching the boats, enjoying walking and biking around the shore. And the last was economic development, which would help pay for the lake.
Exactly. And talking about economic impact, could you explain what that has done for Arizona?
Oh my goodness, Town Lake is one of the top visited spots in Arizona. We have millions of visitors a year who come here for all the different things, whether it's Oktoberfest or the boat parade for the holidays or Ironman Arizona, or just to come walk around or get in a pedal boat. But we have more than 40,000 people who work around here and several thousand people who live on its shores. There's about a $5 billion economic impact that this lake has had for our community as well as the state of Arizona.
Definitely. With all those people coming in, money, obviously, would you say that the lake has paid itself off?
Oh, absolutely, many times over. Especially when you look at the kinds of jobs we have. People have wonderful careers here. Places like State Farm, Carvana, Amazon. There are amazing places to work. Even Hawaiian Airlines has a place on Town Lake.
And then what would you say is one of the most profitable aspects out of those options?
Well, anytime you build a building, somebody is investing millions of dollars in our community just in the construction of the project. But truly the jobs that come with, the opportunities for people to live a really wonderful lifestyle, that is so important to our community. It's more than just the money, it's the opportunities for people.
Definitely. And speaking of opportunities, this is something that's really a big deal. We have a future here at Tempe Town Lake.
Yes,
and
do.
I know that it's a very exciting one, as we were talking about a little bit about the South Pier. Can you tell me kind of what that exciting future is looking like?
Well, South Pier is taking, one of the last large portions of land on Town Lake and creating a $2 billion economic, beautiful development for us. It will potentially offer a pedestrian bridge on the east side of the lake. There may be a Ferris wheel at some point, but there will also be places to live, places to work, places for people to have a great dinner, retail, and beautiful park space that's planned.
And then above that also, what is the Rio Salado master plan? I've heard a little bit about it, but not sure exactly what that will entail.
So the Rio Salado master plan is the city of Tempe's opportunity to really take a look at everything that surrounds the lake, the park spaces in this area, and find ways for people to enjoy it in so many different ways, whether it's going to be a zip line that you can sail down, or a place where you can just sit and watch birds and relax, read a book. We have a plan for all the different sections of the park around the lake, and you can look at it at tempe.gov/Rio Salado Master Plan. And also anything you ever wanted to know about Town Lake would be at tempe.gov/lake.
So coming out to the desert, the last thing you really expect to see is a huge body of water. And with big bodies of water comes evaporation. This is a man-made lake. How does that work with evaporation?
It's not quite what you would think. This lake loses about 2 golf courses worth of water a year, or 1 alfalfa field. We do our best to ensure that this lake is very ecologically sustainable. And part of that is ensuring that we keep as much water in as possible and go from there. We treat it, it's beloved. We know water is a precious resource.
Of course, and then with the water also comes fish. Could you explain a little bit about how the fish are inside the lake as well?
Absolutely. Town Lake has 13 different varieties of fish, and it ranges from Israeli carp to, believe it or not, goldfish. Those goldfish take care of eating all the little mosquitoes and bugs in the lake and make a much better experience for everyone. But every year in November, starting in November, we start adding trout. So there are beautiful rainbow trout. If you're a sports person and you want to, come out with your pole, you have a great opportunity to catch some really delicious fish.
Well, Chris, thank you so much for joining us out here today and for sharing all of that wonderful information about the future of Tempe Town Lake.
Thank you so much for having me today.